This is Vegeta8259, and today I'm going to be doing a review of Thrust from the new Transformers Generations line. And this is obviously one of the Generation 1 tribute figures, which I actually really enjoy. I try to pick up as many of them as I can. And this was kind of a controversial figure because what was it, 2 or 3 years ago at BotCon they released a limited BotCon box set, that was kind of hard to say, with that had, let's see, had Thrust and Dirge, Thundercracker, and a couple others, and Hasbro had said that they those were the only way that anybody would be able to get Thrust and Dirge. But since then, Takara in Japan has made their own versions of Thrust and Dirge, which is basically this. And because of that, Hasbro kind of got mad and decided to release their own as well, since the BotCon exclusive was no longer high in demand. Anyway, as far as the alternate mode goes, it's actually pretty nice, I think. We've got a metallic dark red, which is spot on to Thrust's red shade that he's usually molded in. They didn't use black for the wings and the tail fins. They actually used a dark grayish brown, which I actually kind of like. I think it looks better than if it was just straight black. I also noticed one thing, is that there's chrome up here under the cockpit, which I hadn't seen before in a Hasbro release. I have here the classic Starscream, and as you can see, there is no chrome up under there. It's just the silver plastic, but they used chrome for this one. And I'm wondering if they're going to do that with the Dirge figure that's coming out in the spring, I believe. So anyway, my only complaints about alternate mode are the Thrust face that's pointing down on the bottom of the nose cone. That's a little bit awkward. And my other complaint can really be applied to all of the Seekers, is this big awkward gap in the bottom right here. I know it can't really be helped because of the transformation, but I don't know, that's just kind of an eyesore. So luckily you can't really see it if you've got it, you know, sitting on a shelf or something, but yeah. Anyway, let's get on to the transformation. First, I'm going to be taking these missile launchers off. Then we can flip the wings around, pull the legs out, separate them, pull the feet down, and then the whole body cavity is going to open up. You can flip the arms out and flip the hands out of the forearms. And I noticed that the hands on Thrust are a lot easier to pull out than they were on Starscream. I almost have to get a screwdriver to get Starscream's hands out. Anyway, I'm going to rotate this head around, pull the nose cone down, tuck it in the body where it's supposed to go, close this up, and there we go. Now all I have to do is put the missile launchers on the arms, and we are done. So this is actually a really nice robot mode. I really like them because they're very accurate to the original Generation 1 design. And I don't have all of the Seekers. I wish I did. I only have Starscream. Really, I just have Starscream and Thrust. I have a second Starscream that I've repainted into Thundercracker because I didn't want to pay an outrageous amount of money for the BotCon Thundercracker, so I guess that counts as 2.5 maybe. Anyway, the only real problem I have with Thrust's robot mode is that this missile launcher on the right arm is very loose. I mean, it comes out very easily, which I find odd because this one on the left arm is nice and tight. I have no problems with it at all, but the left one tends to fall out. Anyway, as far as articulation goes, the head can rotate, but only about that far, because you've got this clear yellow piece back here, which will get in the way of these air intakes on the shoulders. so he's not going to be able to go 360. There's no waist articulation because of just the way this guy transforms. The arms can come out about that far, although if you were to take the missile launchers off, they could come out all the way up there. Put this back on. The elbows can bend about 90 degrees. The wrist can go forward and back, but that's really more for the transformation. If you move the wings out of the way, the arms can rotate 360, kinda, if you really force them to. Let's see, the hips are on a ball joint, so the legs can go forward and back, and there went the missile launcher. And they can go out just about 90 degrees. There went the other one. The knees can bend about 90 degrees, and there's rotation at the knee. The feet don't really bend down, but they bend up. I guess that counts as articulation, even though it's more for the transformation. And yeah, not really one of the more posable Transformers. This mold came from Starscream, which was in the first line of the quote-unquote classics figures. And just because it was, earlier in the line, they didn't have quite as good range of articulation as the newer ones do, like Drift, which I also reviewed. But it's actually halfway decent. Like I said, I mainly display my figures on a shelf anyway, so articulation really isn't that big of a deal for me, because really this is a lot more articulated than the vintage Transformers, which I mostly collect. Anyway, as far as weapons go, he's obviously got the 2 missile launchers, and that's about it. And they are spring-loaded, and they can fire like so. So yeah, I guess that about does it for the Generations Thrust. I'll definitely be looking forward to getting Dirge when he comes out. Ramjet's already been released a couple years ago, actually. And yeah, so I guess that about does it for this review, and I will see you guys next time.